The following may contain discussions of racial violence, familial violence, racial slurs, and other examples of overt racism and misogyny. Our intent is to elevate uncomfortable conversations about race, politics, and religion to promote real healing. Yet we acknowledge that impact is far more important than intent. Please take care of you and yours.
I think about this time of year. Remember, there was one Christmas where I couldn't get the Christmas tree to stand up, right? And the Christmas tree kept tipping over. And I could sense my mom getting more and more mad. Not mad at me, because as a kid, abuse you try to make sense of abuse, because if I do this, then okay, even if you beat me to a pulp, at least it makes sense. I did something wrong. I did something bad. But then you try to control the uncontrollable as a kid around areas of abuse that don't make sense. So it's kind of that mental abuse. And so the tree wouldn't stand up. And so I end up getting beaten up within the edge of my life. I'm probably 10, 11 years old. It's one of those nights in the Twin Cities in December where it's so cold, the snow cracks. It makes a cracking, crunching sound like potato chips. And my mom throws me out of the house.
It's okay to be a person. It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to be sad. Letting them know that their feelings are valid.
But before we really even do that, we're going to orient ourselves to the time, space, and place that we're in. Contextually, whether it's a pandemic, continued violence, racialized violence.
Because in the end, the only two ways to build wealth in our nation is to own property and to have education. But for me, it's just truth and righteousness. But if we're going to be table tipping foot washers and we're going to live like the person Christ was, okay, sometimes we forget because we get caught up in the God he is, but we forget the dude he was. Look, if he got crucified for flipping tables and fighting the power structure and being a straight socialist, who am I? Who am I? I know who he was as a man. I know who he was as the greatest political revolutionary who fought for the people. You know, every single day was all about power to the people and all of the supposed wrong people, right? If we as those so-called marginalized, minoritized, the people, the only charge we have is to demand it. If you're going to be my friend and my sister, Rachel, you're going to do your work. And you do the same thing to me. Adam, if you're going to be my brother, you better not be some misogynist pig. You better be doing your work on yourself. You better be confronting those things. You better be willing to get uncomfortable about those same conversations, whether they're about ableism or whatever, right? And knowing we are all gracefully broken. So how do you want to do this? Talking about get uncomfortable. What do you think?
As a multiracial Black man who survived a childhood of abuse and addiction, Adam A. Smith is used to being comfortable in uncomfortable situations. Those traumas have fueled his lifelong commitment to justice, belonging, and building community through conversations we often avoid. Join Adam and his guests for regular conversations about race, politics, and religion. All the things we're told not to talk about at the holiday dinner table. Take it from Adam. Avoiding challenging topics doesn't help you or our nation heal. It is time to Get Uncomfortable, the podcast with Adam A. Smith, found everywhere where you listen to podcasts.